Hey ladies, just gonna wait for a few people to hop on to make sure that you can hear me. Good morning. Hey guys. Hello. So I had to go to physical therapy this morning, and I'm okay. I'm tired, but I'm okay. My arm hurts a little bit, but other than that, I'm feeling okay. I've just I've got a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm excited. So I'm just trying to catch up, but I had a lot of things on my mind. Just some things that I have been thinking about, you know, for a while, and then I get busy and I lose my train of thought, obviously. But so there's just some things I wanted to cover, just as like from a leadership standpoint, from a leadership mindset on how my brain thinks about things, and maybe why sometimes people will be like, well, she doesn't care because she's at the top and she makes a lot of money and it doesn't affect her business. Like, it does affect my business. If you guys feel something, I feel it. Corporate feels it. So in recent videos that have come out on an exit video, I just wanted to talk to my leaders, and that way you guys, when you guys have girls that are coming to you, because we all have teams that are coming to us. Good morning, Mia. We all have teams that come to us out of frustrations. Well, I have complaints about this. Why isn't it fixed? It's been a year. Or this is doing that. And I spoke about it a little bit on a Zoom call last night that I had with a new team. And I want you guys to understand that one thing, like, you know, we have a direct sales company, but Mukhtar, our chemist, isn't in his back office like filling the liquid touch bottles by himself. He's not filling the little mascara tubes by himself. He's not filling the little lip glosses by himself. We have manufacturers that do that for us. So when we don't like something, or we have a complaint about something, or we don't think that something is completely right, it can't be fixed overnight, because there has to be research done. It all goes down to data by us sending our tickets. So venting your frustrations to your leader isn't always the key thing to do. You have to use the customer service support tickets, because they explained to us yesterday on the Black Status call that they really analyze every single ticket that gets sent in, and then the Premier agents send those to the correct departments. Data is collected, and then the product is really analyzed. So if we have issues. So I know that a lot of people are concerned with the mascara because some people aren't happy with it. The fact is that some people still love it. I think it's like our #2 seller. We still sell it. Corporate has been very open that they are working on it. They are getting closer, but I don't know any more than what they have told you guys, what they have told the elite leadership team on that call months ago, because it's not of my everyday concern. I have to trust, in my mind, I completely trust, hey Melissa, I completely trust corporate. Corporate has given us a gift. They have given us the opportunity. They have put their trust in us, that they let us lead our teams how we want to lead them. They don't tell us how to lead our teams. So in my mind, I am a very calm leader. You all know me, if my clause needs to come out to protect my team, I will do whatever it needs to be done to protect my team, to protect your teams, and to do what needs to be done. What I don't like to see is that somebody will bash the company or they'll bash the products because they don't think they're being heard. As a leader, you're heard. If you send a ticket to compliance or to corporate or to customer service, not corporate because it all goes through corporate. If you use the customer support system, you are heard. They don't owe you an explanation unless you're asking about product development or a product question directly. That will end up getting through to Jesse. He can't drop what he's doing and answer every ticket within 10 minutes, but he will get a response. There's a time frame. There's people in that system. So know that if you use that system, you are heard. Don't ever feel like, I saw Tori break down yesterday because she feels like somebody had told her that there's leaders that don't feel like they're being heard. A white status presenter and a black status presenter, a wall of influence presenter, all use the same techniques to get their voice heard. Nobody is more special or more important than others. And I really, really want you guys to understand that. I don't get special privileges, but I do take a step back and I look at everything because, like I said, things take time. So we have a mascara issue. They're very aware because of our feedback, our customer feedback, and what we are providing through a ticket. Complaining to your upline or complaining out loud on your Facebook page is only hurting yourself. It's hurting your own business. What I want you guys to really stop and think about is when you do that, has corporate ever really not done us right? I mean, like, they admitted they screwed up on the cruise, but so what did they do? They gave us another cruise ship at a different time. Like, they're always, always, always willing to make right for what they've done if it hasn't been perfect. But like I said last night, if they've got 75 complaints out of 2,000 that are amazing, there's probably just a few handful of people who don't love that product. The other part of it is the whole manufacturing side, and every ingredient that goes into a tube of lip gloss or a thing of liquid foundation or the compacts. There are multiple things that are going to take time. So if something goes wrong in just the packaging, say something goes wrong in packaging, say unique was completely spelt wrong. Can we sell this if it's wrong? So we might have our product ready, but if the packaging isn't correct, we can't sell that. So we have to go back to square one. So that's why they've stopped giving us dates on what is going to be coming out when, because if something goes wrong along those lines to get it to us, then everybody goes up in arms. And a lot of times, sometimes the teams will freak, so the leaders will freak. And you just have to work and just take a step back when you get all that pressure on you and you need to say, send a ticket. I can't do anything about that. I am not customer service. But there's a lot that goes into, I'm going to use the mascara as an example because I heard a leader say, we might be getting a mascara in November. I've been very transparent with my team. I wrote that, the 7 epic things, not one of them is going to be a new product. Tori told us that it's not going to be a new product. We have amazing deals coming. So we can't go ahead and we cannot, the biggest thing that will set you up in your team's attitude for working is your expectations that you're feeding them, that you really don't have proof or you don't have honest insight on what to do that. So when I heard that, like, you might be getting a new mascara in November, I was like, that's not going to happen. It's not ready. They will tell us when it's ready. I can promise you that they will tell us. You have to think about everything that needs to go into that. They have to get their formulation correct, and then they're going to have people that are sampling it. I would assume at corporate or whoever they choose to sample it. I'm not sampling it. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. I don't have any. But we can't assume that because we had complaints last year that it's going to be fixed within a month or that it's got to be fixed right now. It will be fixed, but it has to come back perfect. They don't want to mess this up again. So they're going to continue to give us things and they're going to continue to make us grow. We are a 4-year-old company. So say the mascara is almost done and then we need 100,000 wands, and the people who are supplying us the wands, what if they mess up? Do you see where I'm going with this? What if that side of that messes up? So we can't go launch our new mascara on, say, December 15th, I'm giving you a date. I'm going to go with April because I have no idea when this stuff is coming out. Or say no, next November. We cannot tell you that it's going to come out next November and then have something happen to the wands. And then that's out of our control. That's out of corporate's control. That's out of everybody's control. What we need to do is trust that there's a million other things that come into play other than just the mascara is wrong. We need to throw a little bit more glue into the gel because it's drying up. There has to be testing. There has to be all this allergy stuff. Like it has to go through, whatever they get for certifications on that stuff. It's got to be approved by a lot of other things. There's a lot more that comes into play, I guess, is basically what I want to say. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's not something that they can really go on the Unique Pop and just say, hey, there's because a lot of people don't understand that. But as a leader, take that step back and think about everything that we're feeling, because corporate's feeling it 100 times more than we are. And just know that if you use those ticket systems, you are heard. You are not heard. And it's kind of a slap in the face, to be quite blunt, when you say or you think that corporate's not listening to us. Do you honestly think, look at Derek and Melanie and how many times that man will get on stage and cry because he wants nothing more than to change as many lives as he can. Do you really think that they're not listening to our concerns? They totally are. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, it's just because no, I've worked so hard to get where I am, and I'm going to continue to work there. So you have to just take that step back. When your team is getting frustrated, send them to me, and I can maybe talk them off that ledge if they are frustrated. Or just take what I'm saying today and put it into your own words. Because we're only 4 years old. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to just be amazing. I mean, this company has given us so much that it breaks my heart when I do feel like people will be severely negative toward the company or say that the company has no integrity or the products are horrible. Like, if you really truly believe that, then you need to move on with your own journey somewhere else. But you don't bring that down into your team. You don't push that into the public eye, because that says a lot more about you than it does the company, than it does the product, because you were just promoting that product 2 months ago or a week ago or 3 days ago or yesterday. I've seen that happen. That says more about you as a person and your own integrity than it does about the company that you don't think has integrity. This company has more integrity and more future than any company that I've ever looked at. So, and I know that a lot of you understand that. I'm just saying, from a leader standpoint, being up there with a large organization, looking at things, just when you do get frustrated, know that we are still that baby company. And yes, we could use more reports, and yes, we could use this. I can promise you it's coming. I know I've heard Melanie say, look in your makeup bag. Whatever you don't have, whatever's in there that's not ours, we will have someday. If you're willing to stick it out and work through the trenches in these harder times where things may not seem perfect to you, but are still perfect for somebody else, it's still good. It's something that's happened, the shift in you. You need to find your own happiness. You need to find your own motivation to get back to where you were and get to where you were when you first came, when you have that excitement. And you get that how? You start signing new people to do this business. You start partying again. This business is a repetitive deal. Yes, Tracy, corporate loses sleep over this. Like, when we're unhappy, they're unhappy. And they do everything that they can, but they're also human beings with families and kids and, their own lives. They can't drop what they're doing every second because somebody has something. There's 500 and some odd thousand of us and like 200 and some odd thousand active. They are not at our beck and call. They're trusting us to do what they're allowing us to do. We need to trust them. A lot of them have said, we could never do what you guys do. We're in our positions because we've seen that side. That's hard work. We're in this side because this is a side that we're good. We're good at what we do, and they're good at what we do, and we need to trust that. We really, really need to trust that. If you want to be rich overnight, then you should stop sleeping. Honestly, and I'm going to say that. You can't complain about the honest time that you're putting in this business. I mean, I never slept when I built a business, and I know that a lot of people can't do that. And I'm not saying that you have to be me or you have to be anybody else at the top of this business. You have to do what's true for you, but you have to have realistic expectations. I hate this thing in my mouth. You have to have realistic expectations of the company, of your own goals, the time that you're putting in. Are you really truly working when you're working, or are you scrolling through Facebook watching other unique presenters? So you need to kind of relay that with your team if they're frustrated. Like, what were you doing when you first came in here? What was your excitement? Let's get that back. You know, don't be negative to where, oh, I don't really love the liquid foundation. If you don't love the liquid foundation, you don't like the viscosity or whatever the big words that Jessie uses, go to the BB cream. We had amazing coverage with everything else until the liquid foundation came out. I personally am not a liquid foundation wearer. I will use it occasionally because I do like it. It's not my go-to. But if there's issues with things, you just have to work through them. You have to choose the company. Every company has issues. You have to choose the company that you want to have problems with. I mean, my relationship with Kyle isn't perfect, but I wouldn't want to have those problems with anybody else. I'm sure that your marriage isn't completely perfect. If it is, I'm very happy for you. But if I can guarantee you or bet that it's probably not perfect, but you chose to have problems with that person. My kids aren't perfect, but I wouldn't choose to have anybody else's kids because I love mine. That's what God put in my path. I am not religious. I'm not going down a religious path. But everything happens for a reason. Everything is brought to us. We're not given anything that we can't handle. We have to pull up our big old pants and just move on. But we have to look at what we have in front of us, the gift that we have in front of us, and work through the hard times together versus tearing everybody apart or tearing each other apart or tearing a company apart who wants nothing more than us to succeed. It breaks my heart when I see somebody say that the integrity of the company is not the same. The company isn't the same now that when they joined. Amen. We had I saw a picture of the kit that I bought for myself 3 years ago. I got eyeshadows. I got every pigment. I got a mascara, I think one eyeliner pencil. I can't remember. The kit was nothing. Thank God the company isn't where it was 3 years ago. Thank God. Because you know what? Hardly anybody had heard about that company or heard about our company. I am so happy that it's grown. We have come so far. How does anybody expect to have that small... Yes, we're still a family company, but how can somebody expect... If we weren't growing, you wouldn't be happy. I feel like there's no happy medium to keep everybody happy unless they can really see the forest through the trees. Can they really see the future in that? Do you know what I'm saying? Without being I take a step back and I look at things and I don't get upset because you want growth. And if you can look at your numbers from 6 months ago and you got 4 more people in your company than you did 6 months ago, you are growing. If your number, it's a completely different month. You can't compare month to month. You can't tell your team to compare month to month. I can say my team has doubled in numbers, people-wise, presenter-wise, but I can't compare my company sales because of every month varies. With the election going on this month, like I had said, November is not going to be magical unless you make it magical. And there are some teams that are growing slower than others are now. And then there's some that are doing so awesome because they have allowed themselves to not be bothered by what's going on around them. They have pushed through and they have their goals. So when you let the outside influences come into your head, it's going to affect your business. It's going to affect your thoughts. And what's going to happen is you're going to blame somebody or you're going to blame something. And right now, people are blaming the products. We sell products every single day. Corporate's still making money. We're still making money. So that means that products are selling. If you aren't selling products, it's because you're not using them. It's because you have been listening to outside sources or letting others influence your thoughts because at one point you love this stuff. I'm not saying you people in general. I'm just saying I feel like I'm talking to a crowd. It's because you've let somebody get into you, into your head, into your thoughts. Does that make sense? So if you can just get back to where your fire is and where your motivation is for this company and the love for this company, and then exactly, Jill, there's always going to be somebody to complain. There's always going to be. And that's what I'm saying is you can't keep everybody happy. And as a leader, you can't make everybody happy. You cannot. I've got 82,000 people on my team. You know what? I probably have made 75,000 of them not like me for something I've said. But I'm not going to let that stop me from building my business because this is my livelihood. I would die. I will go to the end with this company. I would do anything to protect this company. it's just it's just how I feel. It's changed lives. I've seen thousands and thousands of lives and families change. Why would I ever say a bad word about that? Because I wasn't happy with one product or my fibers fell in my face? No, I'm going to say, hey, you know what? This didn't seem like it did 3 months ago. Did we change it? Is it something? Maybe it's my application. The other thing, and I know that Jessie explains this very well, if somebody says, well, it's not covering the same, or the liquid foundation, or the tone or the coverage seems a little bit off, or the color seems a little off, it's because the batches change. It's not a completely different color. It's just that the ingredient, if you're growing, we grow a lot of our, natural stuff. If this plant is not going to give you the same exact DNA as this plant, because they're two different plants. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense there? Am I talking, crazy? But you know what I'm saying? Like, not everything is going to be exactly the same, because everything comes in different batches. So we need to just educate our number one, our customers on that, and we need to educate our teams on that. Not every single thing is going to be the same. So I just want everybody to understand that when you get this negativity, you have to shut it out. Like, I mean, obviously, a lot of everybody has, I'm sure, heard that Kara Newton has resigned from Younique. And so I'm dealing with that. I'm trying to figure everything out. I'm trying to get her girls where they need to be. And I've just heard a lot of things, and I wanted to, from a leader standpoint, on my thought process on that and some of the things that I've heard. And I'm not saying this because I'm like, oh, everybody needs to say this is the best. Not like, I know that people leave companies every single day. A Black status leader came the other day and they wanted to know the story. I said, the story doesn't matter to your team's business. It doesn't matter what she chose to leave, let her go. See you later. Other leaders have left. There's the door. Like, I don't lose sleep at night over that. I mean, I don't let that affect my business. People leave jobs every day. CEOs leave banks every single day. Doctors leave hospitals every single day, and they make bank, right? My mom's quitting her job in December. Does she owe anybody an explanation? Do I need to educate people on why she's leaving? No, because it doesn't affect your business at the end of the day. You affect your business, your customers affect your business, and your team affects your business. If you have somebody on your team leave, then they left. Like, you can't make people stay, and you can't let others, what everybody else is saying, influence yourself or influence you. You've got to bring yourself to the other side and shut that negativity out, because it will bring you down. And I told that leader, I go, why are you messaging me? Do you not think that I'm busy enough, like, talking to everybody within my own organization? I don't want to talk to the other 150 Black status presenters because they're nosy. I can shut that out. And it's not because I'm rude, but I have a task at hand that needs to be done. And them knowing what I know isn't going to affect their business. You know what I mean? And it's not because I want to be like, oh, I know everything. Do you think that I want to go through this again? I don't. It's hard. It's heartbreaking. I have cried and I have been mad. It's hard. It's hard at this level, you guys. But when I hear people talk about Younique in a crappy way on their way out, it pisses me off. Like, bad. Like, I can hear you. Corporate hears you. You guys, we have a gift. We really, really do. But don't get caught up in the drama of everything that happens. And because somebody's feelings get hurt because they want to feel more important than anybody. Because you have top leaders who will do anything for their teams. But to feel like we're not heard or you're not heard, you are. We all just have to use the same channels. I am so sorry. I think I've just hit like a wall because I'm so exhausted. It's hard to see people leave because people have a shift in them, and I've seen it with so many people. I've seen it can light them up, and it can change their life, and I've seen it ruin people. But that all comes down to that person and their growth, and that's why we say you have to do personal development. You have to constantly be growing. You know, I signed up for that Eric Worre thing, and because it said if you have 5 or less people in your company, you need to do this training. I don't need to do that training, but I have to keep growing. And like the first class or the first session was, if you don't keep growing, your check's not going to grow. And so when I see people say that their team isn't working or they're frustrated, my first thing is, what are you doing to not be frustrated? What are you doing to grow your business? And I know that everybody's busy, and a lot of people still work and they have jobs, and I get that. But that means that you're here for the 3 to 5 year plan, and that's okay. Because to be honest with you, if you're frustrated now, it doesn't get easier at the top. It's not like I work harder than anybody else, but it is a lot of work. And that's why sometimes maybe I was put here for certain reasons. I had a completely different situation than most people. I've sacrificed relationships. I've sacrificed a lot with my kids. Some people just aren't ready for that next step. But it's our job as a leader to kind of hold them there and to keep the happiness and to remove people who bring you down. As hard as that may be, because we have it in us as moms and as mothers and as a leader and as a business owner to try to make everybody happy. But you have to make yourself happy first and just really stick up for yourself and what you believe. So anyway, that's my rant for today, but I wanted you guys to see the product side of everything and like manufacturing and how you can't give your teams false hope about stuff. You can't, because at that point you take pressure on. And when I heard like that we were going to get a mascara, or somebody telling their team we're going to get a mascara in November, but that wouldn't be enough to make her stay, I was like, who said that? Like, that's setting yourself up as a leader for failure because your team is going to be mad. So that's why I don't say a lot unless it's concrete information. It's not because I hide anything. Whenever I'm allowed to tell you guys stuff, that's the first thing I do is tell you guys, because you're my leaders. You're my team. You're the backbone of me. But I hope I don't, and if I do, please reach out to me that I've ever given you a false expectation of something. But I am a very blunt leader. I'm a very honest leader, but I don't think I've ever been mean or not meant to be. I'm just very blunt. I have a lot on my plate, and I just might come across in a different way. But I mean, obviously I'm very passionate about what I do. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work because I have to build a new group for some girls. But I just wanted to come on and just be upfront and raw with you guys for everything that's been happening over the last couple of days. And just know that, we did have a leader leave, but it's not the end of the world. The company is not falling apart. We are extremely strong. And it's going nothing but up. They have huge things for us next year. And we just have to wait and be patient and trust that their jobs, they know what they're doing. And we have to trust that. Bye, guys.